Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Now, Fisher, I know you have a story to tell us this morning about Loretta Mackey. She's Assistant Commissioner in charge of Family Island Policing. Tell us more about this story.
She's also an island girl like yourself. She's a trendsetter. I had a very interesting interview with her. I learned a lot of things. This woman is very, very intelligent. She's an assistant commissioner. We haven't had much of those ladies for quite some time. And you and I were talking offset yesterday, and a question you asked me about all these police ladies that I've been interviewing, she's going to answer that question for you today.
Okay.
So I know you're quite interesting. Also on our Facebook page, we've been hearing persons ask, how come police women end up with police husbands?
Right.
So I put that question to her, and as you will hear in this story from Assistant Commissioner of Police Loretta Mackey. A native of Long Island, Assistant Commissioner of Police Loretta Mackey knew her reason for joining the force some 37 years ago was to serve her country.
My mom, she made sure that whatever we were doing, whether it was assisting other older persons in the community, church, and that kind of thing, so that more got me into the attitude of service.
After graduation, she was first employed in New Providence and has worked her way around from local stations, spent time in Grand Bahama, returning to New Providence after she got married, worked the stations again, on to the Traffic Division, CID, where she specialized in fraud and commercial crime.
And after training, I would have captured the prestigious baton of honor. And after about 8 years, I went back to Grand Bahama with my family then, 2 girls and my husband, who was a police officer at the time. I worked in Lucaya Police Station, where I worked as the inspector. I worked in 8 Mile Rock. The second time I was the commander, and so I took that opportunity to form youth group, and then we did neighborhood watch, and that was important because you have to get the community involved in your policing. We can't do it alone. I prosecuted, then I took over prosecutions. I was in charge of the neighborhood community policing. I also was the coordinator for the victim support, and during this for about 8 years I was also the press liaison officer for Grand Bahama and Northern Bahamas. And that was a very good experience for me, and I got a lot of information and the community, interaction with the community. And then, of course, I built good friendship with the media persons too at that time. I also worked in the urban renewal. After Frances and Jean, those 2 main women, that was a very good experience, getting into the community, seeing the needs of people and how best we can facilitate, making the connection with the different agencies and the persons who had needs.
So just how was the transition from being in the big city to the real big city of Nassau?
I'm open to change, and change is inevitable, and I think that's why I was able to make the change so easily. On the 20th of April this year, I was notified by the commissioner to come in for a meeting, and on my arrival here, I got a letter of appointment to the rank of assistant commissioner. And then before I even could enjoy that, 5 minutes later, he slid another envelope across the table to me, and there was my transfer. And it was effective for the 4th of May. So I had 2 weeks to go back to Grand Bahama, pack my bags, and came back to Nassau. I'm enjoying it, actually.
She is somewhat of a trendsetter.
I am the 4th female to serve at the rank of assistant commissioner. We had Renita Colebrook, and then we had Carolyn Bowe, and then Ismella Delancey, and now myself. So I don't take it lightly. We've been around for almost 56 years. Women were allowed to join back in 1964. We work shoulder to shoulder with our counterparts, our male officers, and we have garnered the respect of them. The females bring a different aspect of policing to it, maybe because of the mother's instinct, but we like to make sure that everybody is fed, so to speak. Everybody is heard, and a lot of times we only hear those persons who are speaking loud and not the persons who are just sitting there in silence. Sometimes we can overlook the invisible employee who is making that commitment and dedication and sacrifice.
Mackey leads a balanced life thanks to some outside influence.
If I sit here and not acknowledge my husband and my children, my church family, friends, and colleagues, it would be remiss of me. You need support, particularly climbing the stair of success in the Royal Bahamas Police Force from a recruit to Assistant Commissioner for Family Island. God has been good. He's amazing.
Now, most of the police women I have interviewed have police husbands. So, how is this?
And I guess you're in training, 6 months there in training, you pick somebody, You fall in love with somebody and you marry. But I had a good pick, Ted Mackey. Oh, he's a Patriot fan, so he had a ball on Sunday. Yeah, but I don't know if that fate would have it.
So LaDawn, now you see how it works. At least of the 6 women I've interviewed, at least 5 of them are married to police officers, met in training, been together now for about 30-something years.
Gosh. She said they'd be on the line and she just picks them in training. So Fisher, are you going to be able to, I guess, get 2 sisters or a father and a daughter that's on the force? We would love to see something like that. We got to send that out to the public.
Sounds like a good story either, but what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow, you know, Mackey, she's in charge of the Family Islands. She's going to take us in depth of how to communicate with all the officers on the Family Island, transfers, promotions. I told her I had an interesting conversation with her yesterday. It was one of my best interviews I've done in quite some time. Even after we finished the interview, we just sit down and we talked about some things, because I knew her back from when I was in Freeport about a couple of years ago, and you heard her, she was on the force for 37 years, and you were saying just now, you were wondering what she was doing in 1964. Sure, Gator wanted to know what she was doing.
I wasn't even a thought yet.
So everybody wants to know, what were you doing in 1964, grade 2 or grade 3?
I wasn't even here. Thank you so much, Fisher. Thank you so much.